I work at PushPay. We make a mobile payments app that you can use to give money to charity or your favourite utilities company. I've worked on a few products now, and I've found myself experiencing the same problems every time. Mostly around actually getting to talk to any users at all to inform my design. The same odd excuses crop up everywhere, with research and testing still seen as a nice to have in so many places. Companies know they need to involve their users. In theory, that's why they hired you, but actually doing it can be another story altogether. We can't all work for Trade Me and literally find valid users in the street, can we? Does any of this sound familiar? Well, I want you to know you are not alone. It is really, really hard. So today I'm going to talk about navigating obstacles to get to your users. Just why is it so hard? Well, product is all about priorities. Product design is about making something that people actually keep using and that somebody pays for. Otherwise, everyone is out of a job. There's a never-ending list of things to be built, and all before someone else does it first. There's a never-ending list of broken windows. At first, it seems like everything is broken. You're like, I can't even use this, let alone my mother. You wonder how on earth things got like this and why no one is doing anything about it. But you soon realize that those broken windows have been in the backlog somewhere for a year, and where you see pinholes, somewhere else there's a full-blown fire going on. Nobody has the bandwidth to change things that are only a little bit broken, and everyone's got bigger priorities than your user testing protocol or the line height on your copy. Another big reason it's hard to do your thing is because nobody really knows what you do. They might smile and nod when you tell them what you want to do, but it doesn't mean that they get it. So getting access to users is hard. I've worked on products with hundreds of thousands of users, mostly in America, where all the people live, and you wouldn't think finding talking to users would be a problem. But with this kind of volume comes volumes of red tape sometimes. Ahead lies a political minefield of stakeholders who seem genuinely surprised that, yes, you plan to talk to actual real-life users, their ones. Customer success teams can be fiercely protective of these customers they work so hard to win, and they're not that keen to hand them over to just anyone, especially when they don't even know what you do. Senior stakeholders may think all you're there to do is put the colours in, and that you just magically know all the answers, because they don't really know what you do either. To convince people to let you talk to their customers, you need to show people what you do and what they can get out of it. So one of the best ways to start embedding research into the design process is to practice on your workmates. Interview them, test all the things on them, record your user testing sessions on Nigel from Accounts, put a Darth Vader voice over what's his name from sales, and let your boss hear a viewpoint in someone else's voice. Stakeholder interviews can be extremely effective. When you ask someone questions they have to dig deep to answer, all of a sudden they start to realize that what you do is something actually a little bit different. All of a sudden the pennies start to drop. People become interested in what you do. They ask you questions. They want you to do it on other people, maybe even a real live user. By doing this, I started to get buy-in for talking to real users, and people started helping me to connect with them. I got a few lists of details and sent a whole lot of emails, made a whole lot of Skype calls, but it proved unsustainably time-consuming for everyone. And the people that were helping me were already so overworked that one more request and they would literally explode. It was all very inefficient. However, meanwhile, I was hatching a plan. I found that doing UX in products means you have your day job, putting the UX in, and to get any research off the ground, you have to be running your own little skunkworks operation on the side. I wanted to create a low-effort, low-friction way of recruiting users where I didn't get in the way of anyone else and no one was in the way of me. So I started on a strategy to build a direct pipeline to willing participants. Working in UX means you're also basically a full-time negotiator. You're always negotiating on behalf of the users and also just to peddle your trade. So at first, I tried putting something together as complete a solution as I could. I wanted to give people something to say yes to, without anyone having to do anything. It totally bombed. It turns out that mega nerds don't like designers inventing technical solutions. It turns out CIOs really don't like designers suggesting that we just put this third-party app on the server. And when it comes to security, there are some serious cowboys out there in the UX tooling space. So with ready-made solutions off the table, I was back to the drawing board. I just needed some kind of database I could get users to sign themselves up to, and then they were mine. Ideally, something we were already using, so I didn't have to go through hoops A, B, or C ever again. Everybody has this guy, right? Hello, my old friend MailChimp. So I pitched the idea to use existing customer touchpoints to invite users to sign up to an exciting and exclusive user feedback group. Users could opt in and out of their own accord and receive occasional no-obligation invitations to take part in user research. Crappy slides will get you everywhere in business. The user feedback group was approved that day. It was a great day in UX for me. This simple idea has broken down the wall between the product design team and our users. We have a simple landing page inside our platform with our MailChimp form embedded. Being inside our logged-in platform is important, ensuring that everyone who signs up is actually a customer, which is very important when you're testing prototypes of stuff that's designed to smoke your competitors. Already our database is growing to a valuable resource we can segment as we need to find Android users, environmental charities, finance directors, or volunteer managers. We can use it perfectly adequately as a contact management system to track what activities users have been involved with, to share this with others in our department, and also across the business. Managing day-to-day design work and trying to fit in the interviews at Skunkworks Inc. can be difficult. So we use You Can Book Me for managing appointment times around our other calendar bookings and managing the nightmare that is US time zones. Well, on that topic, I learned something last week that blew my mind. Just when I thought I was getting the hang of this, you see these lines here and the sort of deviations, the chunks out of them in various places. There are cities in America that have more than one time zone within them. So you can be at your neighbour's house and go home and be in a different time zone, or leave work and get home and it's 2 hours before you left. It's like massive UX fail if you ask me. So anyway, so 90% of our research is conducted remotely. We run moderated one-on-one ethnographic interviews before starting a big program of work, and also during the design process to validate work in progress. We also send out automated or unmoderated tests where we want to test specific task flows as they're nearing completion. We found we can't rely on a single tool for doing remote interviews because users don't have Skype or don't have a microphone or don't want to use Skype or just can't do it. But I'm very happy to tell you about a new kid on the block called Validately, which this facilitates live remote screen sharing, records audio and video, and has great function for adding time-coded notes so you can jump back to a section quickly. This is exactly what you need when you need to quickly prove a point in the best possible way, the voice of the customer. So herein is my little story of how I navigated some obstacles to get to my users and a bit of number 8 wire to create a halfway decent research program. With a bit of perseverance, you too can navigate your own path, stamp out the excuses, and put the user back in UX.